And you know, when I say that, it's really kind of true. I have found that the older I get, a little bit more philosophical I get as well, and I think about some things. And I also know that since I actually did kind of fully retire from my day job, I have a little more time on my hands, and of course, with the focus of focusing on this note fund that I've been talking about, I do get have a tendency to kind of think about some things, and again, get a little bit more philosophical. Uh, the other thing I've noticed also is since I've got a little bit more active on social media and did a little bit more of these videos that I've been doing, that it does give me an opportunity to talk with a lot more people. They're a little curious, and who I am in the background and some of the things I'm doing, but also about the fund itself. And so when I say something like, I was talking to an investor recently, I really have been. That stuff's been going on. That's just not made up for primetime TV here. So I did have a conversation with the investor earlier this week, and again, I was thinking about afterwards. And through these things, we talk about investments and returns, strategies, money, things like that. And then I said something in that conversation that kind of stopped me for a second. And it got me to think about it. And what I said was, you know, Mr. Investor, your most important asset isn't your portfolio, it's you. And the more I thought about it, the more I believe that is true. Again, a little philosophical statement there, but it is true, I believe. And so, your knowledge, your experience, your ability to learn, your ability to earn, to make decisions, to create value, all those kind of things really is your primary asset. It's not your balance sheet, it's not your investments, it's you. And so, if that's true, then the next question becomes, how should your investments support your most important asset instead of competing with it? So, what I see is a lot of successful people, through the time that I've been doing this, but also my previous endeavors, seen a lot of successful people like business owners and professionals, executives, a lot of folks spending a lot of time trying to manage their investments. They weren't really meant to be another full time job. They're reviewing deals, taking calls, sorting through all these opportunities. And I've talked a lot about all the noise that's coming on, all the other opportunities that you see on social media and maybe other places. I even get stuff in the mail nowadays. Uh, but they're trying to figure out what's real and what isn't real. And over time, it starts pulling away from the things they do best, the things that create the most value in their life, and that's themselves and their family. And that's where I see our role comes in just a little bit differently. Our job isn't about to provide an investment. It's to support the investor, to give them a way to put capital to work without taking their time, their focus, or their energy away from what they do best. And so in our case, that means a passive approach to investing in mortgage notes secured by residential real estate. Pretty easy, at least from my perspective. We handle the sourcing, the underwriting, the servicing oversight, all the administrative functions, disbursement of capital, dealing with borrowers when they're not making their payments, all those things. All the decisions that come with managing those type of assets. And that way this investor doesn't have to. Their capital is working, but the time still stays as their own. Whether it's going to their daughter's soccer game or watching their son's basketball game, all those other things involved in enhancing their own lives. So when you look at it that way, passive investing isn't just about income. It's about protecting your most important asset, most valuable asset. And that's your time, your focus, and your ability to keep doing what you do best. That's where real long-term value comes from. And so for the right investor, that leads to something pretty simple. Passive income, peace of mind, no noise. So if you're an accredited investor who thinks this way, who takes time to do, who takes the time as much as your capital, let me say that again. as values as much of your time as you do your capital, I'm always happy to have a conversation. So again, this is Cody Cox. I'm with Bridge City Factors. We're a fund management company. We manage promissory note funds secured by residential real estate. If you'd like to find out more about it, you can always email me at cody@bridgecityfactors.com or look at our website, which is www.bridgecityfactors.com. Until next time, happy investing.